everyone, I welcome you all to C2B. We will be discussing gluconeogenesis today. This is a carbohydrate metabolism series going on where I have already discussed glycolysis. Today I shall be covering gluconeogenesis. In the upcoming video series, I will be covering glycogen metabolism, TCA cycle and G6PD deficiency. Without further ado, let's get started. Let's see a structured question on gluconeogenesis. Define gluconeogenesis. What are the precursor compounds that contribute to gluconeogenesis? Describe how gluconeogenesis and glycolysis are reciprocally regulated in fed and fasting conditions. Since it is a structured question, usually you will get the marks distribution. Now, let's start with question number 1. Gluconeogenesis is the synthesis of glucose or glycogen from non-carbohydrate source. The major site for gluconeogenesis is liver and kidney. The pathway involves both mitochondria as well as cytoplasm. The biomedical importance क्या है इस pathway का? When we are starving, it is this pathway which is maintaining our blood glucose for the organs, especially like brain, renal medulla, lens, cornea, testis, RBCs, which eat mainly glucose. Question to answer number 2. The major substrate for gluconeogenesis are gluconeogenic amino acids, lactate, glycerol, propionate. Let's see them one by one. Gluconeogenic amino acids, on the basis of their catabolic end products, amino acid can be divided into glucogenic, ketogenic, or somebody who can give both glucogenic as well as ketogenic on catabolism. तो यहाँ पर आइसोल्यूसिन, लाइसिन और जो 3 एरोमेटिक अमीनो एसिड हैं वो दोनों ग्लूकोजेनिक एंड कीटोजेनिक अमीनो एसिड्स होते हैं और जो ल्यूसिन है वो प्योरली कीटो while other 14 amino acids are purely glucogenic. I have a mnemonic for you to remember this, and that says I love all. And I is for isoleucine here, L for lysine, and A is for 3 aromatic amino acids that include phenylalanine, tyrosine, tryptophan. Let's now see lactate. Lactate is produced by muscles as anaerobic glycolysis and is a dead end metabolite. It must reach liver where it will be converted to glucose by the process of gluconeogenesis. In both the sites, we have lactate dehydrogenase, which are isoenzymes of each other. The gluconeogenesis supports glucose availability to muscle. Let's now see glycerol. Wherever glycerol is formed in the body, it must reach liver because glycerol kinase is present only in liver, which will convert glycerol to glycerol 3-phosphate and further to dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Can you pinpoint where dihydroxyacetone phosphate will enter into gluconeogenesis? Yes, at the level of aldolase A. Now, let's see propionate. The propionate is converted to propionyl coenzyme A, which is converted to D-methylmalonyl coenzyme A. A very important reaction here is propionyl-CoA carboxylase. I call it my ABC enzyme requiring ATP, biotin, carbon dioxide. Converted to its L form by racemase, and L-methylmalonyl coenzyme A is converted to succinyl coenzyme A by another very important reaction, methylmalonyl CoA mutase requiring vitamin B12. If succinyl CoA can enter into TCA cycle, can you pinpoint where it can enter into gluconeogenesis? Yes, at the level of oxaloacetate. Let's see the substrates that can form propionyl CoA: valine, odd chain fatty acid, methionine, isoleucine, threonine. And I have a mnemonic that says vomit, which will help you remember all the substrates which can form propionyl coenzyme A. Now, an extra edge which you can also write in your examination as a clinical correlation, and that says अगर किसी में vitamin B12 deficient हो जाए तो उनमें L-methylmalonyl CoA का लेवल बढ़ जाएगा, which is seen as methylmalonic aciduria. Now, let's answer question number 3. How glycolysis and gluconeogenesis are reciprocally regulated. Actually, the rate of glycolysis is determined by the concentration of glucose, and the rate of gluconeogenesis is determined by its precursors like lactate. Now, this is here reverse of glycolysis. I have already made a video on glycolysis. In case you have missed that, the link to the same will be provided in the description box below. So here pyruvate is converted to glucose via the similar steps by which glucose was converted to pyruvate, except at the three irreversible steps. Let's see them one by one. At phosphoenol pyruvate to pyruvate conversion, in glycolysis we needed pyruvate kinase. In gluconeogenesis we will need two other enzymes. One is pyruvate carboxylase and another is PepCK. Let's see regulation at pyruvate carboxylase. जब पायरुवेट माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया में एंटर होता है, पायरुवेट इज इनिशियली कन्वर्टेड इनटू एसिटिल कोएंजाइम ए बाय द एंजाइम पायरुवेट डीहाइड्रोजिनेज. When the concentration of acetyl CoA increases a lot, it inhibits pyruvate dehydrogenase, but simultaneously it will activate pyruvate carboxylase, converting it to form oxaloacetate, which can then enter into gluconeogenesis. The two enzymes, pyruvate carboxylase and PepCK, are compartmentalized. One is present in mitochondria and another is present in cytosol. So oxaloacetate must cross, but the problem with oxaloacetate is it is impermeable to mitochondrial membrane. Hence, there is malate aspartate shuttle to make oxaloacetate come into the cytoplasm where the other enzymes of gluconeogenesis are present. And so is PepCK. This is a very important step requiring GTP. See the second important irreversible step in glycolysis, PFK1. And this is reversed in gluconeogenesis by fructose 1,6 bisphosphatase. Now, this is a very important regulatory step. Let's discuss it in detail and is a very important viva as well as theory question. Glucose via a series of reactions forms pyruvate. Here there is an intermediate known as fructose 6-phosphate. That fructose 6-phosphate is not only converted to fructose 1,6 bisphosphate but is also converted to fructose 2,6 bisphosphate by the enzyme PFK2. This is a bifunctional enzyme. Matlab, when it functions in the forward direction, we call it PFK2. When it functions in the backward direction, we call it fructose 2,6 bisphosphatase. Let's see one by one. When glucagon is the hormone of action, that is when we are starving, cyclic AMP concentration rises, which activates a protein called cyclic AMP dependent protein kinase. It will cause phosphorylation of fructose 2,6 bisphosphatase. As a result, this portion of the enzyme will become active, whereby it will convert fructose 2,6 bisphosphate to fructose 6-phosphate. What will happen? The net result will be decrease in the concentration of fructose 2,6 bisphosphate. When the concentration of fructose 2,6 bisphosphate decreases, PFK1 will no longer be activated by fructose 2,6 bisphosphate. As a result, fructose 1,6 bisphosphatase now becomes active. Gluconeogenesis will ensure. Let's now see what happens in the presence of insulin. Insulin activates a protein, here PP1, protein phosphatase 1, which will activate PFK2, convert fructose 6-phosphate to fructose 2,6 bisphosphate. Its concentration will increase, glycolysis will occur. Let's see the overall view. Here everything which I have written in red will be gluconeogenesis and everything which I have written in green will be under the control of glycolysis. So glucagon, when we are fasting, cyclic AMP will be activated, activate cyclic AMP dependent protein kinase, phosphorylate fructose 2,6 bisphosphatase, activate this portion, converting fructose 2,6 bisphosphate to fructose 6-phosphate, thereby decreasing the concentration of fructose 2,6 bisphosphate, which will inactivate PFK1. That means simultaneously fructose 1,6 bisphosphatase will become active, gluconeogenesis will take place. On the other hand, when insulin comes, protein phosphatase 1 will become active, PFK2 will become active, concentration of fructose 2,6 bisphosphate will increase, PFK1 will be active, glycolysis will occur. That means जब हम फास्टिंग स्टेट में हैं, ग्लूकागॉन फॉस्फोराइलेट करता है फ्रक्टोज 2,6 बिस्फॉस्फेटेज को, रिएक्शन रिवर्स हो जाती है, फ्रक्टोज 2,6 बिस्फॉस्फेट का कंसंट्रेशन कम हो जाता है, जिसकी वजह से PFK1 अब एक्टिव नहीं रह पाता है. On the other hand, when we are well fed, insulin is the hormone of action वो रिवर्स करेगा ये सारे इफेक्ट्स को बाय कॉजिंग डीफॉस्फोराइलेशन, PFK2 को एक्टिव करेगा, फ्रक्टोज 2,6 बिसफॉस्फेट का कंसंट्रेशन बढ़ाएगा जिससे कि PFK1 एक्टिव हो जाएगा और ग्लाइकोलाइसिस इज इंश्योर्ड. Let's now see what happens at the level of the first step in glycolysis and the last step of gluconeogenesis. In glycolysis, hexokinase glucokinase will convert glucose to glucose 6-phosphate. In gluconeogenesis, this is reversed by glucose 6-phosphatase. Add an extra edge to your knowledge that glucose 6-phosphatase is not present in the cytoplasm but is present in the endoplasmic reticulum. In the end, it is always a good idea to make a tabular formation of regulation of glycolysis and gluconeogenesis and summarize the whole events. Glucokinase, PFK1, pyruvate kinase, they are active in well-fed state. They will be inactive in starvation. जो हेक्सोकाइनेज है उसका इनहिबिटर ग्लूकोज 6-फॉस्फेट होता है. ग्लूकोकाइनेज का एज सच कोई एलोस्टेरिक एक्टिवेटर या इनहिबिटर नहीं है. PFK1 का AMP and fructose 2,6 bisphosphate we just saw, and inhibitor is citrate and ATP. When the concentration of AMP is high, AMP stimulates PFK1 but inhibits fructose 1,6 bisphosphatase. This regulates glycolysis, thereby inhibiting simultaneously gluconeogenesis. Conversely, जब ATP and citrate concentration are high, the energy charge of the cell is high. That means we do not anymore need glycolysis and thereby PFK1 is shut off. Pyruvate kinase के लिए activator is fructose 1,6 bisphosphate and inhibitor is ATP and alanine. Again, this signals that the energy charge is high and building blocks are abundant. Conversely, we will see in a while from now, pyruvate carboxylase and PepsiK is inhibited by ADP. For the enzymes glucokinase, PFK1 and pyruvate kinase, the inducer and repressors are same. Inducer is insulin and repressor is glucagon. Let's now see regulation of gluconeogenesis. The four major enzymes of gluconeogenesis are inactive in well-fed state, but in starvation they will be active. The activator for pyruvate carboxylase we saw was acetyl-CoA. The inhibitor is ADP. The enzyme PepsiK is mainly regulated by hormones. Glucocorticoids, glucagon, epinephrine are its inducer. Repressor will be insulin. Fructose 1,6 bisphosphatase, we just saw it in detail, will be inhibited by AMP and fructose 2,6 bisphosphate. All these four enzymes, the inducers are same and the repressors are same. And let's see the big picture also. When we are starving, the major hormone of action will be glucagon, which will activate all our four enzymes. In the end, you must add a note on substrate cycle, which is also known as futile cycle, as both glycolysis and gluconeogenesis are tightly regulated. They are not simultaneously fully active in most cells. However, in pathological conditions like malignant hyperthermia, both pathways will proceed rapidly. So this is Dr. Sonam Bhatia signing off. Yes, I am social at Instagram at dr.sonam bhatia C2B and at Facebook C2B Catalyst to Biochemistry. Thank you. God bless you all.